Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Stewart, Chair of the Carson Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Committee. It's presently 10:03. We're going to start the meeting at 10:03. What I'm going to do is do an opening statement. The Carson Chamber is happy to have Jawane Hilton, Mayor Pro Tem, Council District 1, as the Economic Development Speaker today, Monday, December 5th, 2022. Jawane Hilton is an educator and pastor who is committed to bringing diverse groups of people together to get things done for Carson neighborhoods. He was elected to council in June 2015 and appointed as Mayor Pro Tem on January 23rd, 2018. He was re-elected to his second term on November 3rd, 2020. We wish Council Member Hilton to give us his vision for our community and our business community, what he feels that with the mantle on his shoulders, how he's going to proceed in bringing this city vibrantly along. What I want to do is to give you my chairman's report. My chairman's report is basically to showcase Carson. That's the council, the Chamber of Carson's vision. Showcase the good things, show what our potential is, show where we want to go, and how we can bring everybody along with us. Our methodology is information gathering, acquiring knowledge and facts. We go by aspiration to desire for advancement, to proceed to the community for aspiration. And we like to inspire leadership in our community for growth. That's why we want to work together with all of you to grow this city. We want to ask Council Member Hilton, what is his desires? We want to find out what is his plans for improvement in quality of life, infrastructure, maintenance, and beautification. Prioritize how he's going to prioritize economic development. Bring quality markets and restaurants to the Carson community, because he has a vision for that, I know. And also to advocate for funds from county, state, and federal government. Now I'd like to bring on Councilman Jawane Hilton to give us a vision for our city of Carson. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Thanks so much, Mr. Stewart. I appreciate you, and to all of you who are on today to the Economic Development Committee. It is a pleasure to greet you all. I am Mayor Pro Tem Jawane Hilton. I serve as the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Carson, representing the mighty District 1. When I say the mighty District 1, I mean it, because the mighty District 1 at the present moment has $8 billion worth of infrastructure coming into it alone. That's all happening in the mighty D1 with 157 acres, the new development of housing, which will yield us about 6,500 new residents in District 1 alone. I'm excited about the economic development and the economic growth of the city of Carson. My vision has been always clear and simple, that we cannot have economic infrastructure and economic impact if we don't have partnership with business. So I've always been clear on that. I've always been clear that not only do I serve my residents who live here, but I also serve my residents who invest here through business and economic growth. I want to be here to have a dialogue instead of me just talking to you. I want to hear your thoughts, your plans. I want Carson to be vibrant. I want Carson to be the next Manhattan Beach, if you will, but in our own way. I want us to be thriving. We shouldn't have to go out of our community to go to restaurants. We shouldn't have to go out of our community to have economic opportunities. And all of these things can be here. And all of the development that wants to come here is very positive. We just have to see ourselves in a positive light. As your mayor pro tem and council member, I have been advocating that the city gets a strategic plan together to market our community to restaurants, to grocery stores, to let them know economically how they would benefit if they came to our community. It is no secret that every restaurant that comes to the city of Carson, they go to the top 5 in their income as far as their support. Carson has a lot of means to support a lot of things, but most people have not given us an opportunity. And one of the reasons why I think that we miss opportunities is because that we miss putting the numbers in place. We have to put these numbers before people in order for these people to actually come. So we need a pro forma, if you will, something where people actually look at and say, Carson is the best city. Carson is one of the last cities that have land to develop. So while every other city is landlocked, we have a unique opportunity to bring so many things to the city of Carson. And I, as the mayor pro tem, I look forward to meeting with businesses and making sure that we streamline some of the processes, some of the things that we do as a city. I try to never make decisions from a political standpoint, but from a positive standpoint to get our community to move to the next level.
Councilman, can we ask you a few questions?
Absolutely, I'm here.
And my panel, I'd like you to ask some. How are you going to incorporate Cal State Dominguez Hills and their operation to grow in the city? I mean, we have 3 mayors in the region of Southern California are alumni of this school. And we have the mayor in Long Beach, we have the mayor in Los Angeles. Okay. And we'd like to see how you're going to incorporate it in your aspirations and leadership, how we can help that institution grow and how it can work with us on where we want to go, because they're part of Carson too.
You should add the mayor of Lomita.
The mayor of Lomita
is an instructor at Dominguez Hills.
Yeah.
So, I want to say this. For the first time in a long time, Carson has set up a unique town and gown with Cal State Dominguez. This has been far too long that we had not had a relationship or an open relationship with Cal State Dominguez. What community has a university in it and has not maximized or utilized their potential? I have sat down with Dr. Thomas Parham. Cal State Dominguez is in District 1. And Cal State Dominguez used to be a second thought school, but now it's a first choice school. Most people are going there. The enrollment is skyrocketing. I sit as a board member on the Dimely Institute, which is a political think tank to help people navigate ideas and to make sure that legislation works in the favor of certain communities. So I think Cal State Dominguez is a very important part and important piece. Although the land is state-owned and not city-owned, I think that it's important to the economic growth and development of our community. You have college students who are there, you have residents who are there, and you have people who come in. We have over at least 30,000 people who dart the campus every single day. And it will behoove us as a community to embrace Cal State Dominguez, to embrace their new economic opportunities that they're trying to do, and they're building. If you've been to or passed by the new buildings that they have, these buildings are beautiful. They're state of the art, and people are coming from far and near. And not only, as you said, just the pathway, and now the tagline that two mayors, I'm not sure the third one, but two mayors, and Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, my good friend Rex Richardson, the mayor of Long Beach, our senators, Senator Stephen Bradford, our past board of equalization chairman Jerome Horton, all of these people. Leaders are made at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Our mayor. I'm sorry, that's who the third mayor is. Our mayor, Lula Davis Holmes. Leaders are made. Leaders are made at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and that's a model that we should talk about. Leaders are made at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and not only are leaders made at Cal State Dominguez Hills, but leaders are coming through Carson. And that's something to shout and tout about. So I think this is important that we would program together and make sure that we have the balance. When I came to the city of Carson did not have an internship program with Cal State Dominguez. How is it that you have a university in your front and backyard and you don't have an internship program? I was the first one to work on the internship program through Cal State Dominguez and the city of Carson, because there's talent that is in our city and we need to tap into it.
Do we have any other questions? I'll just call on Ray Aldridge, our chair of Economic Development Commission. I want to hear his questions.
No, well, basically, I just had a comment also, and Mayor Pro Tem Hilton is absolutely correct. It was ridiculous that we had a university right here, and we didn't tap into it, until now. So it's great. I applaud everybody that was involved in getting this partnership going. And the other thing on the new homes, could you elaborate on that a little bit? Because it sounds like you said like we got 6,500 new homes coming or something.
So it will possibly total 6,500 residents coming together.
Okay.
We talk about Brandywine when they just did Carson Landing. We're going to talk about the Imperial Avalon Park that they are redeveloping. Those are going to be new doors in our community, and I believe they're going to be totaling about 6,500 doors. When you think about it, in 6,500 families, when you think about it, there's a number of development going on. And if some people would have their way, like the Don Cott, they're proposing some housing on that land. So when you think about it, all of those are going to be in the mighty D1, but all of those, all of that infrastructure, all of that building is coming to this district, and it is an incredible opportunity for us to tap into the things that we deserve. Most of the time when you reach out to these markets and stuff, it's not that we don't have enough money to support it, it's that we don't have enough rooftops to support it, or enough people coming in and out. Carson had been considered a long time as a bedroom community, 51% industrial, 49% residential. And now we're finally moving into the fact that these people, that we are able to move to the next level. So this is exciting for us.
Yeah, I wanted to share the district map here for people who aren't aware of how the district is laid out. So you can see here, hopefully you're seeing that now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll wait for it. It'll get there.
There we go.
We buy, we're thrifty here at the chamber, as is the city, and we buy discount electrons, and sometimes they're not as fast as the regular ones. So you can see here, District 1 goes all the way to the northern edge of the city, and it goes all the way down past City Hall. So, it's a pretty good sized district and very diverse. You got the 157 acre site here, Victoria Park Golf Course, where, we know there's things going on with that. And we got the you know, all this development up here, some of the highest income part of Carson is actually in this little piece of the district.
Yes,
So
it is.
it's a
Yeah.
pretty interesting district, and of course the university. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and the only until recently the only professional soccer stadium in LA was also here. So, you know, there's a lot to talk about there.
Okay. Any other questions?
So a question then is, you know, we all recognize how we recognize what needs to be done. I mean, we have people coming to us, and you and I have discussed this. We recognize that we have a great place to do business. You know, talking with our Chick-fil-A franchisee who'd barely even been to Carson before he established his business here, and he is so in love with this community that it's really exciting to see somebody that excited. And he's not rare. We have these people all the time and say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how I do business anyplace else." And he also said, by the way, this is kind of interesting, that you know he works with the other franchisees around the district, and they have regular meetings, and he hears all these stories about dealing with homeless people and crime and graffiti, and he says, "I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that at all. They've never had any graffiti at the place." He said, "Just Carson residents are nicer people," is what he figures, and he gets a lot of Cal State Dominguez Hills residents. So we've got a great story to tell. So how do we get that word out to all those people who need to know what a great place this is for them to do business?
I think that's what we're working on now. We've had an economic development department or someone in place. Latoya Butler has done an amazing job of trying to hold it together herself, but she needs a team. You know, you go to any other city, they have a team of people. So we have to invest in our economic development department. We have to invest in a portfolio, a presentation. We need to have USB ports. We need to have a QR code of what's happening in the city of Carson. Why should we come? Why should we be here? Why we should have testimonials from business owners saying this is a place to not only to come but thrive. As soon as you get here, you're going to be thriving, and we see the testimonies. So I have asked to package that under the leadership of our new city manager. I've asked him to put together whether we have to put together a team, and we're moving Latoya into another role, into helping her and building a team around her to make sure that we're able to get that information out. But we may have to go to a PR firm or hire some PR people to make sure people know what's actually happening in Carson and why it should be a great place of development. I sit down with developers all the time, and they talk about what a great place to grow and thrive. But sometimes they get a little tired of battling red tape or the rhetoric that some people have to say. You know, sometimes people say rhetoric and they hurt us more than they help us.
Was.
I call it dog whistling. You know, you want to dog whistle to your constituents sometimes. And when you dog whistle to your constituents, while it may increase your fan base in the community, it actually diminishes the business opportunities that can come to our community.
Amen.
Amen. I may comment that developers, when you're trying to, in my business, trying to sell Carson, they're hearing how much time and how many details you got to go through. Can we fast track something? Can we get a way to use ways to get in better housing and get in better development in a fast track when the guy has all his money ready and ready to go?
Yeah, I think we have wanted to, and we've spoke of a fast track. We even spoke of taking building and safety away from the county because it somehow slows us down. Because I've heard people like Daryl's people saying that, hey man, you know, I'm in a building, I'm paying this rent and I couldn't even get approved for such and such a time. I have another small but growing business coming in, CJ's Wings. They are going to be on 184th and Avalon. And as they're trying to develop, they keep getting lost in plan check with the county. And I'm saying these people, we don't have the ability to sustain a business, pay rent for a business, invest in a business and not make money, and to be held up in areas of planning. So those are important. Those are priorities for me to fast track those things, because I think those things are very important to the economic success of any community.
We've been working with the staff over this issue of potentially requiring a CUP for anything logistics related, or actually it's sort of grown to just about anything with a truck door on it around town. So here we're trying to speed things up and for everybody, and then adding in a CUP requirement for a whole bunch of projects that it's not really adding anything to the, it's not adding anything from the community standpoint as far as what the community gets. It's just making the time longer. And also it's adding another burden to staff without adding more people to do it. I mean, we're hiring 2 new assistant planners right now, but still we need a new senior planner. We need a planning manager. So, I mean, you know, it's just tough from our standpoint to see how that's going to work.
I think, again, I think, as I probably indicated before, that those are things that happen. Those are things that people throw out there to get certain recognition. I'm opposed to all the extra red tape. We are, some economists say we're on the verge of an economic recession. I'm opposed to that. So we need as many businesses to come in right now. We don't need any empty buildings. We don't need any empty storefronts. We need to be able to streamline the process. I think, and most people, what I've discovered, and I'm a leaser of an industrial warehouse here in the city of Carson that has truck doors. I don't own any trucks. I don't own any things like that. People are using more industrial sometimes as a flex space more than to bring trucks in. Yeah. And I think people need to understand the dynamic of how, I was approached the other day by a major church wanting to come to Carson, and they want to build something, but they want to build something with truck doors, no trucks coming in at all, but they want to be able to build some stuff with a base to have flex space to be able to have certain things. So we got to even help others see that every time something comes in, it's not about like an industrial complex. Watson Land has an industrial place that is rented out, but it's a clothing place. I went in and it was beautiful. It blew me away. It was a clothing space, and we're going to make economic dollars off sales and their shipping and fulfillment. And it's not truck traffic. Everything is not truck traffic. So we need to be able to see, discern, and be able to look beyond all of these things that are happening. And we know that environmental justice issues are real, but we do need to be able to decipher which ones are real or which ones are not real.
Yeah, I did a presentation just last week for Cal State Dominguez Hills with the Chinese government talking about transportation. And we talked a lot about those environmental justice movement and what that means in the U.S. and the progress that we've made, like showing how, our economy has exploded over the last several decades, while at the same time, air pollution has gotten much better. And the idea that that it's one way or the other, no, we want to have our cake and eat it too. And we should be able to do that. So we appreciate the fact that, that's been your focus is let's make it a win all around.
Is Ed Apodaca on your line? Ed?
Good morning. I am.
hospitality. We have a city, we have a world-known AEG facility here. We're going to be in the 2024, 2028 Olympics. It's going to be here tomorrow. And what are your conditions you feel about hospitality, how to showcase the city that we want to bring folks in, not to stop them from coming in. We have all these freeways, the 110, 17, 91, 405, and Alameda Quarter runs through our city. Why not have a place for hospitality and business thriving? What are your feelings on that, Ed?
Well, thank you, Michael. Yes, I think to continue the progress or to continue in the direction of really marketing our city as a destination rather than a pass-through city is going to be critical for our continued growth. And adding, quite frankly, more beds, more hotel beds in the city will definitely facilitate that growth. It's almost a little counterintuitive to hear a hotelier asking for more hotels. However, it will help us grow and help my business grow because we're able to attract more group, larger group, and have different options for people who want to visit the city or need to utilize different city amenities, whether it's Dignity or Porsche or different things like that. If we don't have the availability, everything goes to North Long Beach, to Long Beach Airport, to Torrance, etc. So we certainly need to continue down that road and with positive promotion of our city as a destination, marketing it as such, and attracting that type of.
And I'm gonna let the councilman reflect on that. But one of the issues is that I know I've been getting some of my groups to come in and use your facility for dances and dinners, but we need actually some conventions coming in here, spending money in Carson. I mean, we have a beautiful location. Why not have hospitality and conventions? And I'm gonna put that to the councilman.
I think what Ed is doing at the DoubleTree is phenomenal as he's refacing and redeveloping and rebranding the DoubleTree. So that alone won't help when there's a Carson Community Center that's nice, but it's outdated. We don't have internet. We don't have media. We don't have the latest technology that other event centers have. We can have this thriving hotel and it's great for Friday nights, but we want tourism money. We want convention money. So we are upgrading the facility. And we're upgrading the facility now. We're in the process of putting new screens in, putting new sound systems in to make it more internet friendly. I sit on that subcommittee because how can you have a conference and you don't have internet access? How can you have a cutting edge conference and you don't have any multimedia to go with it? How can you have a conference and you don't have a sound system conducive for people? Now, these things, you know, when you go certain places, they try to give you a la carte this, a la carte that. But I think Carson should have these things in-house, because when we have them in-house, we're able to offer more to those who come, our communities. So I believe that as we develop the Carson Community Center, as we change it from the Carson Community Center to the Carson Event Center, it will be more event friendly. And then we can create a partnership with people like Ed and the DoubleTree. I believe the DoubleTree is one of the most quality hotels that we have in the city because, you know, the Hampton Inn, I'm understanding that the county is in the process of buying it to house homeless people. I'm avidly against that. And then you think about Motel 6, no slight, but we need quality coming into our community. This is a destination city, not a pass-through city. And we want people to thrive here. We want people to come and work and play here. So those are the things that are important to us, but it hinges our economic growth for everybody in the community, hinges on what City Hall does, hinges on what the city does and what the city and how the city can create us, moving us forward.
Thank you for that. Any other questions?
Well, so as long as you're talking about 2028, last week, Katie Pandolfo from Dignity Health Sports Park said that currently they're slated for 5 events, and those are for sure ones, but she said that she expects to have more added on. And she had previously shown us, I guess it was about a year ago now, shown us a plan for how the property is going to be laid out during the Olympics, and it was mind-blowing. And, we'll have, meanwhile, right up the street in Inglewood, we'll have the opening ceremonies and several other events. And there's going to be events in San Pedro and Long Beach and at the Coliseum and, just all around us. How can we as a community make sure that the community does well through this? Like I worked during the '84 Olympics, and I saw how it, generally things were great, but there were some things to the community that were pretty ugly. And how do we make sure that, we have our best foot forward and are looking great?
I think as we prepare for the 2028 Olympics, we have to be forward thinking, just like we set up commissions for women's issues and stuff like that. We need a think tank centered around the Olympics and a welcoming committee. We need to prepare today for what's happening in 2028. I think that's one of the things that has happened to Carson, that we prepared for short-sighted things. We haven't prepared for long-run things. We invest our energy on the right now, but we have to invest our energy on the things that's to come. This can help us thrive and boom in 2028. And I plan to be here in 2028. I think these are the things that will help us. And we need to start planning today for what is going to happen years from now. So the investments that we make today, we are meeting. We have a team that's actually exploring all of these things that's happening in 2028. We're trying to get ready for them right now.
Well, count us in on that. We'd love to participate in that.
Of course, yes. I did myself worked in 1984 with the city. I was working in the city, and I was assigned to certain events in the 1984 Olympics by Mayor Tom Bradley, and he formed a whole group behind that. He even went out and traveled to get the people to recognize, to come back to our city of Los Angeles.
And it's amazing that the '84 Olympic Committee, and I don't even like to think about how many years ago that is, because I worked for them too. And anyway, the '84 Olympic Committee is still putting out money for youth programs in our community.
That's correct.
And Lori says, Lori Juicy, our friend from Juicy Juice says, count her in too.
Yes.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I wondered.
I have one. This is Lena.
Okay.
Lena, good morning, Mayor Pro Tem. Thanks for being with us this morning. Let's just make believe that everything we've waved the magic wand, and everything that you talked about has occurred. The community center is now the event center. Ed's place is looking great as always, and even better. So I come in with the convention and to the newly instituted event center. Then I have a break. So when I have a break in my while I'm here at the convention, what am I going to do? I want to go shopping. Okay, I want to get souvenirs. I want to feel comfortable. I want to be able to either walk different places within this, near where I am, or have good transportation to take me to something rather near that I can get back in time for my next meeting. I want to be able to go with my group to restaurants to eat, whether or not it's in walking distance or some transportation I hop on to get there. So we don't want to forget that, yes, we want to be a destination city. People want to come here and we'll have the best of this, that, these, and those. But again, there's still a social aspect of it, of the people, that we need to address as well.
So that social aspect, of course, it can definitely be social at Doubletree, but the hope of the social aspect is on the 157 acres, there's a portion called the district. That district will be like a 13-acre place full of restaurants, bars, night hangout places. Those are going to be a part of that. The Union South Bay, there's going to be, they're in discussion at the present moment with a restaurant, a bar type state where they can hang out. We want to make it a thriving portion of our city. And when we talk about the economic growth, we can't forget that social growth is a part of all of that. No man is an island unto himself. We can't isolate ourselves. What good is it to do business in isolation and don't have the aspects of social? So when I talk about the economic growth, I don't know how many of you guys have been to the Manhattan Beach new mall.
Yeah.
Have not been there, please go. It is a treat. There's restaurants like Joey's. They just opened a Boa Steakhouse. They have CPK. They have an outside area. And I've taken all those who have developed, who are trying to develop in our community. And I said, I want to take you to a place of what I can see, what the vision I would like to see in Carson for people to come and thrive. If there was a mirror city, a mirror place that we would like to do, I would like it to be something like this. I want a Grove in Carson. We don't have to call it the Grove. I want a Manhattan Beach in Carson. We don't have to call it Manhattan Beach because we're not Manhattan Beach, we're Carson. But we can get those things that's like that. We don't need any more discount stores. We need white tablecloth restaurants. We need restaurants like Joey's in Carson. We need restaurants like Second and Saint in Carson. These are things that we need, but because no one has told them what they need or held their foot to the fire. But I've met extensively with those developers of the district and told them these are the restaurants that I believe that are acceptable and that I believe that people of Carson will enjoy and will also support because we support them. When I go to restaurants outside of the city, I see people from the city and they want these restaurants in their city. So I think that those are important. So if you have not taken a trip to Manhattan Beach and been to Joey's, Ray, you got to take your wife to Joey's if you ain't been there yet. You got to go because these things are important. We think of cities like Downey that's thriving, where they just built all of these things. They got like Benihana's, they got all. We deserve all of that. And if there's not no one advocating at the table saying what we deserve, we'll just get anything. And anything isn't acceptable anymore. So those are the things that I'm fighting for, and being the voice of reason at the table at the same time and saying, listen, hey, we as a council, it will be great to agree all the time, but there's some things that we're not going to agree on. But I promise you, as me sitting there, I want to be the voice of reason to make sure that Carson moves forward. They deemed about 55 years ago, the future is unlimited when that has played its part. However, I think as the future not being, some of our future has been limited based on theatrics, based on politics. I think it's time for us to move the city forward. I was speaking with a strategic partner this week and saying that, you know, although they say that the future is unlimited, we need to move to a place, maybe that saying is outdated. Maybe that saying is old. We need to come up with something else to let them know that we're moving from a bedroom city to a destination city, moving and thriving in Carson now. So those are my thoughts.
I
Thank
see
you,
a
Mayor
question
Pro
from
Tem.
Juicy Juice.
Lori?
Hi, yes. Good morning, everyone. Mayor Pro Tem, I wanted to ask about the new applications that have been accepted for the business funding for the city of Carson, the grant. I understand that applications were open. However, the funding hasn't started yet. I was wondering if we've put together a timeline on when that funding will start.
So, Lori, I think one of the challenges and what we, I just got a text message while we were on the phone. One of the challenges that we talked about, I think when people are not on the ground and when people are not involved in business, they don't understand business. They don't understand the quick turnaround, or they don't understand that, you know, this grant is the difference between life and death, or closing your doors. Or so some people had tried to put in so many barriers, and I've had to sit down with the staff to try to remove some of those barriers. That, you know, one of the barriers was if you receive one grant, you're not available, you're not, you can't receive another one. That's not how, when they gave away this economic disaster loan, they didn't do that. It was easy. It was so easy that criminals got away with it. You know, it was it was so easy that people took it for granted. But we need to make sure that we're doing just. I'm going to be meeting with the staff. I believe they're going to be rolling some of those things out as soon as this week, next week. But I'm going to. I'm asked some of the small businesses who's had issues or barriers to put those barriers in bullet points, and I will attempt to help them navigate what they cannot overcome, the obstacles that they can't overcome, in order that we won't have closed shops on Carson Street, closed shops on Dominguez Street. So we want to be able to make sure that we assist our community, especially our small business, in making sure that they can thrive in the midst of an economy that's on the rebound, but could possibly go into a recession.
No, we would be poor host if we didn't ask you about your upcoming event.
Well, everybody, I'm having a sneaker ball. We're gonna dress up and we're gonna put our sneakers on. You know, I got a tux, and I'm gonna wear some sneakers. And this is my fundraiser. And one of the reasons why I'm raising funds for 2024. And one of the reasons why I'm raising funds is because the state has put a cap on fundraising starting January 1st, AB 1439. And if you stand before anybody over the course of the year or the next year, they cannot give you any finances. So it is my hope to raise money. I am running in 2024 to be our city councilman in District 1 again. If anything is different, I'll tell you. But I'm not seeking, I will tell you this, I'm not seeking any state office. I'm not seeking any county office. I'm going to be here in the city. So if anything changes from councilman, you guys will be the first to know. But I am for sure that I'm running for the city council in the city of Carson in 2024. And it is my hope to gather enough funds in this my fundraiser to be comfortable, to make sure that we're able to run a positive and an exciting campaign in 2024.
And when is the event?
The event is going to be Saturday, December 10th at the View Music Lounge. I would love for all of you to come. Tickets start at $50. And if you'd like to donate more, you can. But this is a way for us. We've been in the house for the last 2 years. This is a way for us to come party. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have food. All of that is inclusive in your $50 ticket. Some have donated $1,000. Some have donated thousands of dollars. But this is just to help me get my war chest together. So that's what I'm trying to do. And you know, that's very important. So I would love
Make sure
to
you
see
send
all
us that. Make sure you send us the flyer for that.
Yes.
And we'll get it out to our board members.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will send it to you.
Because I know they would be sad if that passed them by and they missed it.
Mm-hmm. Like to keep pushing with you for a vibrant community. Thank you for this awesome, inspirational meeting. I appreciate your ideas and your vision for our city. And we look forward to working with you in the future and always.
Well, I appreciate it. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to working with businesses. I'd say the team that we have is doing a phenomenal job. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen in 2024, who's running in 2024, but I'm committed to District 1. I'm committed to the entire city council. It is my hope. I won't be ashamed about it. It is my hope to one day lead this city as mayor, whenever this mayor decides to. I will not, and I'll say this publicly as I've told her privately, I will not run against her. I will wait until either she terms out or until she bows out, and whoever decides to run against her, that's their issue. But my goal is to make sure that we move the city forward right now.
Right now. Thank you. All right. Our next agenda item is a report from Barry Waite.
So am I good now to leave? Am I good to leave, or Barry?
Yes, you are. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. And
Thank you guys for the opportunity, and I appreciate all of you all, and all of you guys are invited to my sneaker ball. Come on.
good. We'll see you on Saturday.
All right.
All right, for sure.
Hey, Jawan, you might want to put the directions and the instructions on how to get to the view.
In there? Have you
Yeah,
been
I've
there?
been there, but it was tough. It was tough finding the place.
All you have to do is go to the wall. All you have to do is go to Walmart on 190th, turn in, and go all the way down. It's right next to Dollar Tree. So yeah, it's pretty simple once you know where it is.
Once you know, right? Because I went
Once you
down
know.
Knox.
Yeah,
The State Board of
Knox.
Equalization used to be on Knox.
Yeah,
And
Knox
the place is
will
on
knock
Knox.
you out. Knox will knock
Right.
you out. Yeah. All right. So I'm grateful, y'all, and I'll send the information to Barry and
Yeah. And we'll share that out. Thank you. Appreciate that.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman.
So I wanted to mention to everybody that last week, the city had a meeting of their new, the innovation department, which Mr. Stewart and I attended, and it was really interesting. So it's combining finance, information technology, economic development, and I've forgotten the department, unfortunately.
Manning.
No, that's separate.
Separate.
Yeah. Anyway, and it was very upbeat and pretty exciting to see all the things they have going on. And then what was I thought most heartening is one of the more senior employees came up to me afterwards and said, you know, I was getting ready to retire, but if they're going to carry through with all this, I'm going to stick around for a while because this is great stuff. So I'm excited about that. Tariq is the director of that department, and he's got big plans. So I think that's really good news for all of us, and having good folks to work with. And also they are reestablishing my old position of, I don't know what they're calling it, but business development manager. So as the Mayor Pro Tem just indicated, really it's just been LaToya doing things. And we used to have like 7 people in that area, and now it's 1. And you do not do more with less. You do less with less. And when you get down to one, you just can't do much. And Latoya's like a one-arm paper hanger, as my mother likes to say. And that sounded like a Lena expression, didn't it?
Yes.
I like that.
Yes,
But
it did.
that's a good Oklahoma one. So that's pretty exciting, though, to see what's going on there, and the fact that they have somebody actually acting in the position now. So, and somebody who used to work for me, he's a good guy, and I think he'll be a great addition. So, yeah, that's those are the things that I wanted to comment on. Oh, one other thing is that we're continuing to work with staff over this CUP issue, and I'm trying to make something workable out of it.
Thank you, Barry.
I have a question.
Okay,
Barry.
Ray.
Excuse me, Barry, that meeting, now, are they actually funding worker bees? Because they tend to make management decisions and put somebody in a position and then give them no staff. Like, you know, in your case, when you were there, it was like dwindling.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you left with one or two people trying to run the whole department. Or so are they dedicated to actually funding the that new department?
Well, I think that's a work in progress. I think their intention is yes. Oh, and by the way, public information is also included in that department,
Right.
which I think is also good. You know, actually, it has what I think are some of the city's great employees as far as being innovative and creative and diligent people. So it's great from that perspective. But you know, we'll just have to wait and see who actually gets hired, or if people actually get hired. There's still quite a backlog in human resources. That's a years old problem, but you know, it's like they put in a new planning requirement, but you have fewer staff than you ever had before. And you don't do more with less, you do less with less. And so projects take longer and longer. And to a business, time is money. And more than that, it adds uncertainty. Plus, something that maybe they're not recognizing is this impacts residents as well. So if you go in and you're trying to get a permit for your extension on the back of your house, and it's got a 4-foot setback instead of a 5-foot setback because you want to maintain what's existing, and you need a variance for that, it's going to take you that added time, just like it's going to take more time for that business coming in. I think they forget that a lot of times.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I don't think there's anybody at City Hall or in the community that doesn't know Latoya has been worked. But all we do is kind of talk about it.
Yep.
You know, it's like, you know, they don't, you know, it's nothing is done about it. And I was just wondering, in that meeting, did they say, okay, this is the plan, we're going to have this many new positions and this many new, you know, to facilitate the new mega department, you know?
Yeah, they weren't that specific on staffing, but there is definitely some reallocation of staffing going on already. So
Okay.
I'm hopeful, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is go over items for future discussion, and then we'll call for oral communication. Items for future discussion, we'd like to make an analysis of pending development projects. As they come along, we'll take a look at that. We'll ask the developer to come speak to us, just like we did with the Carson Landing people. We would like to work with the city in working on some type of infrastructure annual report in a concise manner that people understand what's happening, when it's getting done, how it's getting done. Right now, you got to go through the computer process, which has been improved since we started asking questions. They improved it right away. They started doing some stuff. But it has to be concise. It has to be something that people can look at and know what's going on in their city, rather than asking everybody as we walk in the mall or go into the community. They ask you what's going on with the Albertsons, and I said, well, this Viada's coming. They said, where's that? I said, well, I went to the one in Downey and it looked nice. They treated me well. So that type of thing, we have to have information out to the people. And we're going to revisit next calendar year the Carson bus tour of businesses, both business, like big businesses, like the fulfillment centers, warehouses, and truck operations to see how they're improving the operation. Are they bringing in electric fleets? Are they cutting back issues? Why are they having backlog of chassis? What are they doing with the chassis? How are they moving through? Are they concentrating on already identified travel patterns and not going into the communities? But also we want to work with them to improve their operations, not just chastise them. We want to work with them. So that's some of the items that we're going to look at. I'm open for oral communication from any of you on the committee.
Well, I guess we've already filled people's heads with enough excitement for a Monday morning then, huh?
Yeah, I move for adjournment. So
we shall make it so. I'm going to stop the recording here.